What's up, y'all? This is Under the Arch Sports. I'm Eric, and today we're going to take a look at Mizzou's absolute destruction of Vanderbilt. Before we begin, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and find us on Facebook and Instagram. So, Mizzou was favored to beat Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt came in winless, and let's be real, Vandy did not look interested in playing football against Mizzou on Saturday, and that resulted in 41-0 absolute domination. Some of the stats, you have to take them with a grain of salt because Vanderbilt, one, is not as talented in Missouri, and two, like I said, they didn't look interested in playing. So maybe they don't mean as much as some other games, but we're going to take a look at them real quick. Connor Bazelak was 30 out of 37 for 318 yards. No touchdown passes, but he was smart with the football. 30 out of 37 is a great completion percentage. Could have been a little bit better. Towski Dove had that one absolute drop on a quick little hitch or whatever route that was. But not going to get mad at Towski Dove. He had his best day as a Missouri Tiger. He was the weapon in the first half especially. But the star, well, you could go with two really. Larry Roundtree, 21 carries, 160 yards, 3 touchdowns. Roundtree doing Roundtree things. But also, Tyler Beatty, 7 catches, 102 yards. He's the first 100-yard receiver Mizzou has had all season. I don't know what that means that the first 100-yard receiving game comes from a running back, but it's better than not having one at all. And part of this was possible because the offensive line was better. They played better. Xavier Delgado and Larry Borum were back out there. They didn't play every snap, but they were out there. And that is important. Let's take a look at the defense now, where, just like the offense, Kobe Whiteside was back out there for the defensive line, and it seemed to make a difference. The defensive line was getting pressure on Vandy quarterback Ken Seals all day. They had 4 sacks, and he seemed really uncomfortable back there. Nick Bolton doing Nick Bolton things. 9 tackles, almost had an interception. And Vandy was just never a threat to score. So let's look big picture, right? Because these stats, they all look very nice. But it's hard to gauge what they're worth against a team like Vanderbilt who doesn't care anymore and isn't that good to begin with. Right, so the first thing to look at, 1 penalty for 5 yards. That's it. That's wonderful. You take that all day. Hopefully for Mizzou they can replicate that. Penalties have been a bit of an issue, so here's hoping for them that they can continue that trend. 0 turnovers. One of the keys that I've said in our preview video was don't make it easy on Vanderbilt, right? Vandy, as we saw, Vandy's offense is not good enough for sustained drives. They had to get sustained drives if they wanted to score, and they couldn't do it. So good on Mizzou for that. Mizzou's sitting here at 4-3. Nobody had that. Nobody had them third place in the SEC going into December, behind only Florida and Georgia. It's really remarkable what Mizzou is doing this year, and they still have 6th and 7th place teams in the SEC West on the schedule, along with Georgia. So, if you take a look at what Vegas would say, I think right now Mizzou's probably going to be favored to end up 6-4, which is just astonishing, going back to where we were looking at the end of September. Line play, offensively and defensively. Xavier Delgado, Larry Borum, Kobe Whiteside. All 3 were back, and it made a world of difference. Hopefully for Missouri, that it does make that big a difference, and it wasn't just a disinterested Vandy team that made them look good. We will see. I think we'll learn a lot more about that against Arkansas. next week, assuming Arkansas remains the opponent. We'll see. There's one thing that's also important about what we saw in the fourth quarter, and that is that when Missouri brought in reserves, they let them play. Specifically quarterback. Under Gary Pinkel and Barry Odom, when the score would get out of hand, they'd bring in the backup quarterback, but then all they would do is hand the ball off and just kill the clock. Which I understand killing the clock, but you're not getting your backups any meaningful reps. Well, Brady Cook got meaningful reps yesterday. He looked good. He was allowed to throw the football, and that's important. He now has a little bit of experience reading receivers' routes, going through his progressions in a game setting. And that's something that would not have happened under Gary Pinkel or Barry Odom, and it was crazy to me. It was just, to me, it's a missed opportunity to improve your team that Coach Drinkwitz is taking. To me, it's common sense, but it hasn't been for almost 20 years at Mizzou. This game really wasn't an exciting attention grabber across the country because Vanderbilt's terrible. While Missouri's rebuilding, they're not in contention for a championship, right? So, and for Mizzou fans, the key focus is going to be the game itself and Mizzou showing progress and improving. But for everybody else, the only story was Sarah Fuller. It's a bit anticlimactic because she's out there for one play and it was a squib kick that she was directed to do. I think I would have been interested to see what would have happened if Derek Mason would have told her to go out there and just let her rip, kick it as hard and far as you can. Everyone I seemed was hoping to get to see her try an extra point or a field goal. But hey, credit the Missouri defense for not giving the Vanderbilt offense the opportunity. It's not Missouri's fault that Vandy couldn't get in a position to score. Yeah, they just couldn't do it. Anyway, that's all I've got on Mizzou destroying Vanderbilt. Be sure to tune in next time when we preview what, for right now, looks to be Arkansas. We'll see if that changes. Thanks for watching.